Now, for more updates on the situation in the United States, Jagriti Dave is joining us live from Washington, D.C. Jagriti, thank you so much for joining us. Now, I'd like to start off by discussing what is now being called a resurgence of the Black Lives Matter protests, especially in the city of Portland, where police is arresting protesters without any justification. In fact, they're just snatching protesters off the streets and they're being branded as terrorists. So can you tell us a little bit about the situation on ground?
Sure. There have been protests in many cities, including Portland, consistently since the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis in May. But the issue in Portland is really to do with the fact that President Trump sent in federal agents to quell the protests there. And the Trump administration said that they were sent to protect federal buildings from some of the damage and vandalism that has been occurring whilst protests have been going on. And the issue in Portland was, according to reports, many of the federal agents who were there were not visibly marked in any way, and they were detaining protesters for no reason whatsoever, sometimes whisking them away in cars, again, without giving any justification. And this is what's really caused a lot of consternation on the ground by both activists and local lawmakers. You mentioned the mayor of Portland there and his criticism being one of them. Now, President Trump has expanded the use of federal agents in other cities, but the Department of Justice has said that they are not going to be using the same kind of federal agents in cities like Chicago that they did in Portland. In Chicago, the issue is to send these agents in to assist local law enforcement officers to deal with a spate of violent crime in the city. But the mayor of that city, mayor of Chicago, was also very concerned about the presence of federal agents, in particular if they were going to be the sort that were seen in Portland. Some other cities are open to help from federal officers, but they don't want to see what happened in Portland. And so to say it's a resurgence, there actually have been protests continually going on throughout the United States in many shapes and forms, as I say, since May.
Right. Now, news reports also suggest that the US president is calling anyone who disagrees with him a terrorist or an anarchist. In fact, experts say that many of the paramilitary-style officers who have been deployed are from the Department of Homeland Security, which was established after 9/11. So are these anti-racism protesters being branded as terrorists to take stricter action?
Well, this is part of the Trump administration's push to present to present their policies as the assertion of law and order. President Trump wants to cast himself as that sort of Nixonian character, president of law and order in the run-up to the election in November. And some critics of the president say that all of this is really distraction from his mishandling of those protests when they first kicked off. In Washington, D.C. and other places, but also his mishandling of the coronavirus pandemic, which his critics say is shaping the way voters perceive him in the election. So a lot of this is distraction efforts to try to galvanize his base and sort of present himself as a picture of law and order. But President Trump has defended his decision to send in federal agents to these cities, saying that he's sending them in to protect federal buildings. He is doing it to restore law and order amidst the escalation of violence in some cities and the clashes between protesters and law enforcement that has happened during protests in other cities. But as I say, local officials on the ground say that actually the presence of federal agents has in fact made things worse.
Right. Now, my final question is about the COVID-19 cases which are surging across the United States, and experts are now calling for a complete shutdown of the U.S. economy yet again. Florida has also seen a massive surge in cases and even surpassed the numbers in New York. So is there any plan of a shutdown coming up?
Trump administration officials, such as the Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, has categorically said that there can't be another shutdown because it would not be good for the economy. The indications from officials are that they're not looking for a centralised shutdown. Several states are rolling back on their reopening measures. They are reversing them, pausing them, which in effect is sort of localised shutdowns that are happening, which is causing concern for local businesses. But it's, again, that balance that we've been talking about between public health and the health of the economy and how to maintain that balance. But really, all the focus is going to be now on the next round of stimulus, which the Republicans are going to announce, their Senate Republicans, their package for around $1 trillion of stimulus relief that they're going to put forward tomorrow. The Democrats have already announced, put forward their package, which is actually to the tune of $3 trillion. And it's now up to the Democrats and the Republicans to see what they can negotiate. Time is running out because the enhanced unemployment benefits that were negotiated in the last package are due to run out at the end of the month, which means that $600 a week in enhanced unemployment benefits may no longer be given to many Americans across the country.
Right.
So they are looking to some form of further stimulus relief because they want to mitigate any long-term effects on the economy of these various of the main shutdown that happened, but also of these local rollbacks that are happening across the country.
Right. All right, Jagriti, thank you so much for joining us and for